Hi guys, and welcome to this week's AlakazamMagicUK Live.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, it's starting to be a lot Christmassy round here.
That way. Go the other way.
So today we have got a bit of a special one. We've got a live product launch taking place right here on the live.
On the live?
Yeah.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That is going to be awesome.
So before we get into that, we did actually have a live launch yesterday evening. So I am going to start off by playing the trailer for that. If you did join us last night, thank you so much. It was a great night, as always on the live launches. And we had the fantastic Roman Armstrong right here in the studio with us. So I'm going to drop the trailer and then we'll come back and we'll join our special guest.
Oh, not me, somebody else.
Yeah. Another special guest. We've got two special guests here in the studio.
I'm not really a guest anymore, am I?
Well, you're part of the team, so
I'm just in and makes a good cup of tea and.
You did make a cup of tea yesterday.
I did, and Jenny said it was very nice as well. I don't know if she was just being nice, but she didn't drink all of it, so I was quite pleased.
Was very nice. In fact, I can't remember what it was like. You have to make me another one.
I knew that was coming.
Right, let's drop this trailer and then we'll be right back.
This rubber band, can you feel it for me? Perfect. Yeah, play it like a guitar, great. They're going to change places whilst you're holding on to it, Emma. Okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1. My name is Roman Armstrong, and this is Hard Stretch.
I'm freaked out.
You can do mind control powers. You see it falls down there like that. Falls down here like this. I use my mind control powers like this. Are you okay? Your jaw nearly drops to the floor. Have a look at the ring, make sure it's alright. Would you like to have a look at the band, make sure it's okay? No, one more time, please. Just the one hand tap. Actually, do the other hand on top like that. Do not let anybody inside. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
How did you do that?
See, the band has now lost its stretch. And what's happened to the ring inside your hands?
That's crazy.
Is that crazy?
What the hell? Look.
I've been closing my rubber band routine with this for years, and it always gets incredible reactions. Okay, we'll try one more thing. But this time we'll take a rubber band like this and we'll take the pen. So if I take it like this and I wrap it around a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times like this. Now this one is dangerous, so please do not try this. I have inside my pocket a lighter. So Ariana, can you hold on to this for me? Hold on to that there. Watch, we'll take the lighter like this. Watch. Perfect, watch. Can you, yeah, a little bit higher? Okay. Perfect. Now, put your hand out for me. If this has worked, the molecular structure of the rubber band should have transformed. So now we should not have a big rubber band, but instead we should now have... Is that crazy? Very well. We're not having a social life, actually. We'll do it again. But Ariana, can you take all of these and squeeze them very tightly? Turn your hand over. Okay, one more time. Can you tap 3 times on here? 1, 2, 3. And if this has worked, the rubber band should have fused back together. Okay, so open your hands. Has it worked? Oh. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. What?
Close enough.
Close enough. Thank you very much. I'm Roman Armstrong, and I hope you enjoy Hard Stretch.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So that is Hard Stretch. That's shipping now. It's in stock and they're getting out. We wanted to get them in your hands so everyone could do them at their Christmas gigs. Right, let's introduce...
There is one above your head, Pete.
Is there?
There is one above your head. The packaging is so cool. That one there. There we go.
Looks really good. Really good. It's such a strong effect. Right, let's bring on our special guest. It's the amazing Mr. Craig Petty. Hi, mate. How are you?
I'm
all right?
A box of floppy ducks. Very much. I'm very, very well. How are you?
I'm very well. You're very quiet. I'm going to see if I can up your volume slightly. Let me go. Where do we go?
Do you know what I really love is the fact that I know exactly where you're sitting, Craig.
Normal place. Yeah.
See, I've given you,
Can you hear me now?
Wayne's. Yeah, it's a bit better. I've given you Wayne's login, and usually I have his volume turned right down. So I've got.
No, but we try not to tell him this, do we? We try not to let him know. You know, he thinks he's talking to everyone, but it really is just yabbering away on his own.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here on the screen, nobody else at home is screaming. It's just Alakazam's in the middle at the bottom. It's just complete. Yeah, let Wayne live in his little delusion. Yeah, oh yeah, you're on the show, Wayne. Yeah, go make another cup of tea.
So, Craig, I just want to say, firstly, a big thank you to you because you are the guy that introduced us to Roman for Hard Stretch.
Well, yeah. I mean, as soon as I've known Roman since I was knee-high, since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. I've known him since he was a kid. In fact, his mom booked me to do his 10th birthday party.
Wow.
And he worked with me in Non-Stop Kids and Slightly Unusual since he could drive. And I've always known what an amazing magician he is. And when he showed me this, the first thing I did is I picked up the phone and I was like, Pete, you have to see this. Like, you just have to see this. This could be the trick of the year. And I'm so glad. It's took a long time to get here. It's been almost a year of back and forth and prototypes and full starts and so on and so forth. But I'm really glad that he's got his first trick out. It's incredible. It's amazing. I'm not really wanting to follow that by coming out the next afternoon and talking about one of my tricks. It's just great, you know. And Roman's such a nice guy. He deserves it. He really does.
He was buzzing last night.
Yeah.
I went for a cup of tea with him before he went home.
The nice thing about the project as well is it is not just Hard Stretch. What people are going to realise when they start getting it into their accounts is it's not just Hard Stretch and Mini-Me. The amount of stuff that we talked about, it really is a great... I would say, and I do a lot of rubber band magic, I think that this product is the best introduction to rubber band magic you'll see, because we cover the basics. We cover Crazy Man's handcuffs. We cover ring and band moves. We cover a bunch of different rubber band routines and how to actually routine it. And then obviously Roman talked about Hard Stretch and Mini-Me and how to routine it all together. And I think it's it's just incredible. It really is.
It's a proper worker's routine. Yeah, it's something that anyone that does close-up magic should own, really. Even if you can't do any rubber band magic and you just want to do the ring-up band, which is incredible on its own, it gets incredible reactions, follow that with Hard Stretch, and that is a solid band routine.
Yeah, it really is. Nothing to not hate about, it's such a strong... And it really is. It's like rubber band magic has been screaming out for this, an ending to a band routine. There's some amazing rubber band magic out there. There's some incredible rubber band magic out there. But having this as a finale, my God, it's great. And one of my pet hates in magic, one of many of them, because I've got a lot of pet hates, but one of my pet hates is magicians that just do crazy man's handcuffs. It's kind of like, like you, Pete. Why limit yourself to just crazy man's handcuffs when rubber bands can do so much magic? And really, it's the ultimate impromptu trick. Why would you limit yourself to just one thing? That's like having a deck of cards and saying, well, I'm only going to do ambitious card for the rest of my life, when there's so much more you can do. And hopefully this project will open up people's eyes and make them realize there's a lot more out there than just doing crazy man's handcuffs.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, Roman had his evening yesterday, but today is your day. We're talking about your brand new release, which is going to be going live on our site in about 5 minutes when the trailer plays. So tell us... Sorry, mate?
This is a different type of trick to what I would normally release. This is very...
100%. So tell us a bit about it.
Well, how it came about is in the summer, well, actually before the summer, at some point when I was coming over to AlakazamMagicUK, I remember AlakazamMagicUK making a massive fuss last year about their Christmas releases. And, oh my God, there's going to be this, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be this. And I bought all of them and this is amazing, because I love theming magic for Christmas. I really do. I know a lot of people don't, and that's fine. But I love, if I'm doing any type of Christmas event, I want to try and theme the magic to Christmas wherever possible. And I remember saying to you when I got to AlakazamMagicUK, are you doing any Christmas tricks this year? And you're like, no, not really. We did a bunch last year. We're not going to do any this year. And I'm like, well, I've got one. Would you like me to go through it for you? And you were like, yeah. And I didn't have the prototype set or anything with me, so I grabbed some blank cards from AlakazamMagicUK and I drew crude little pictures on them, which just looked absolutely terrible. And I went through the routine with you and the story, because it's kind of a story thing. And you were like, oh, wow, that's really good. Because it's a magical routine. I think that sometimes a lot of Christmas-themed stuff that comes out, the Christmas theme can be an excuse for not having a magical moment. Yeah. Well, I think any trick that comes out, yes, it should be themed to Christmas, but also it should also have some strong moments of magic. Yeah. And I showed you the routine, and within a couple of weeks, you'd got these really nice cards designed by Aid Gower, which were beautiful. And then I started working it, which is a very strange thing to do in the summer, working for Christmas. But it's like, who likes Christmas? Well, let me tell you this story. But I think it was important to work it in and gig it and gig it and gig it. And then off the back of it, there were other routines that you could do with. And what we've ended up with is a collection of cards, custom printed cards, that allow you to do the main routine, which is kind of the elf routine. But then you've got lots of other. It's become a mini project. There's lots of other things that you can do with these cards. In fact, including what I think is my favourite version at the moment of 3-card Monty, or Colour Monty, you can do with these cards. And I've actually included in there my Out of This World presentation, which every gig...
And it makes perfect sense.
Every gig, every corporate, every family event, whatever it is, I always do this Out of This World. And that's included on there as a bonus as well. So we've ended up with like an hour and a half or something of a tutorial and routines and so on and so forth. But the main elf routine, if you do family shows or you do family events and you want something hard-hitting that's got a lot of magic but also has a really fun story, this is what you want.
And the thing is, it's one of those things, because the magic in it is actually very, very strong. So you've got some really strong moments of magic. Now, you could easily perform this to an adult audience. You tell the story a bit tongue-in-cheek, but the magic is still strong. And that's the thing. And I always find, I mean, I love Christmas. I know Wayne loves Christmas. I know you love Christmas. And everything about Christmas, like our new intro to the live, as soon as you see stuff like that, everything feels a bit more magical. There's a bit more love in everyone's heart, and everything just seems a lot nicer and happier, and everyone's happier. And the thing is, when you do a trick that's themed around Christmas, especially if you're doing it to younger kids, they truly buy into it, and it's given them not only that magical feeling, but that Christmas feeling, which, is a great feeling. Think back to when you were a kid and it was coming up to Christmas. It's the best feeling in the world.
the main elf routine that you're going to learn on this, although there's a story to it, I've done this for adults, I've done this for military base. I did it a couple of days ago. I did a military base, and I did it at a military base. And I think that adults become kids over Christmas. You know, if you think about every single kid's routine, if you think about every how many adults watch like films over Christmas, like Elf and Arthur Christmas and stuff like that. Oh, there's Mr. Grumpy Pants. Oh, there is Nemid.
We love Nemid.
Honestly, he really should cosplay at Christmas as the Grinch. He really should. I'll tell him right now that I saw that last night he picked up Hard Stretch, and if he doesn't immediately buy my release, you know, there's going to be big trouble.
I heard he was going to buy 2.
Better too. So I mean, it's a really fun routine. It's a really, really interesting routine, and it gets great reactions. But the magic is really strong, and I think that's where it has to start. I think I've seen Christmas tricks before where it's not really that magical, and there's a really nice story, but you know, you're basically just being a glorified storyteller, and that's fine for some people, but it's not fine for me. I'm a magician. So my goal, first and foremost, is to show people strong magic that makes them go, wow. The story is important as well, especially with this sort of effect. But if there's no magic there, then I think it's missing a beat.
Yeah. Well, shall we drop the trailer? And while we're doing that, I'll be putting it live on the site, and then we'll come back and we'll speak a bit more about it.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first look at the trailer for Craig Petty's Elf.
Hey guys, my name's Craig Petty. On behalf of AlakazamMagicUK, Magic, welcome to Elf.
So Roman, it's coming up to Christmas.
It is.
And it's an exciting time of the year.
I can't wait.
Have you ever been to the North Pole?
No.
Well, me as a magician, I actually go to the North Pole quite a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I know Santa.
Yeah?
And I'm going to tell you something about the North Pole. I'm going to give you some inside scoop on Santa and the North Pole.
Elf is a festive packet trick that's designed to not only give the spirit of Christmas, but blow your audiences away with magical moment after magical moment after magical moment.
Now, I've got these cards here. These look like, they're not playing cards, they're Christmas cards. You can see that because the back of the cards has Christmas trees on. Now, they're all the same, but except for this one. This one here is a stack of presents, because there are so many presents in the North Pole, you wouldn't believe it. More presents than you could possibly feasibly imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this card with all of these presents on and put them over there. We'll get back to it in a minute. Now, all these other cards, the backs are the same. It's not really important what the backs are. The important thing are the faces, and I'm going to show you the faces in a second, but the faces actually have pictures of elves on them. Now, if you've never been to the North Pole, you probably don't know this, but when you go to the North Pole, obviously elves play a big part in the operations that go on there.
Elf isn't just a single trick, it's a project. There are 4 routines on this project, along with a whole bunch of custom printed, gaffed, festive cards.
Now, there's actually 2 teams that you probably don't realise. There's 2 teams at the North Pole when it comes to elves. There's the red team and there's the green team. Now, the red team, they're responsible for present creation and distribution. So they work in the warehouse, and they're basically in charge of all of the machines to make sure that all the presents are made on Christmas Day. If the red team didn't do their job properly, there would be no presents. The green team are in charge of reindeer care. So they're responsible for making sure that the reindeer do what they need to do and are fed and looked after so they can literally fly on Christmas Eve. Now, I've got a whole bunch of elves here, and it doesn't matter how many I've got, but you can see that I'm alternating red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves all the way through. Let me explain why the reindeer are such a massive pain in the backside to Santa. The reason is they get distracted very, very easily, and they always like playing tricks on each other and on Santa. So let's just assume that Santa has disappeared out the warehouse for a bit, out the workshop. He's gone to have a hot cocoa with Mrs. Claus or something like that. He's busy, right? Okay. What will happen is they'll start playing this game where they're jumping around from one place to another magically. Yeah. Let me show you what I mean. If I take 4 of the elves and put them here, so I'll put a red elf and a green elf and a red elf and a green elf.
Yeah.
We'll pretend that this area here is the workshop where all the presents are made.
Yeah.
And then that leaves us over here, obviously, with 4 elves, the red elf and red elf and green elf. We'll pretend this is where the reindeer are kept, right?
Okay.
Here's what happens. This is what they'll do. They'll start playing tricks on each other, and they'll start, you know, like when you're a kid, you play tag?
Yeah.
They do like a magical version of tag where they're jumping around all over the place. Like, for example, if I just snap my fingers, it's happened. Did you see it happen?
No.
See, now over here, we've got red elf, red elf, red elf, red elf. We've got all the red elves here. Because you see, they jumped when you didn't see it. If the red elves are here, what do you think we've got over there?
The green elves.
Exactly, because they're jumping around all over the place. But Santa doesn't like this. He wants them to get back to work.
Yeah.
So if they hit, but Santa can never catch the elves. You know why?
Why?
Because when Santa walks back in to find out what's going on, they just disappear completely. Like, he'll go and check in the workshop where the presents are made. He won't see any elves. All there'll be there is presents and presents and presents and presents. There are no elves. There's nothing but presents. If he goes to check in the stables where the reindeer are kept, all that are there are reindeer and reindeer and reindeer and reindeer. There are no elves anywhere because they've hidden. When they saw him coming, they hid. And where have they gone? They've gone and hung out outside in the snow where all the presents are kept. And that is why Santa has such a nightmare all year round.
I'm even going to go through my naughty and nice routine, which is absolutely, categorically, the best and funniest version of Out of This World that you will ever see, and perfect for those Christmas shows. Now, these tricks are designed for family audiences, they're designed for kid shows, they're even designed for restaurants and corporates. Let's be honest, every year we get booked for Christmas shows, and every year we promise our clients that we're going to be theming our tricks for Christmas. Well, this year you can do just that. These tricks are easy to do, they're super magical. You can watch the tutorial and start performing them immediately. Guys, on behalf of Alakazam Magic, my name's Craig Petty, and welcome to Elf Ho Ho Ho.
I'm here.
There we go. Elf. Well done, matey. It's a great little trick, great packet trick, and it's phenomenal. And there's our little Craig Petty elf.
Love it. Ryland's going to love that. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's a bit of a departure away from what I normally do.
Yeah.
In that I don't think I've ever released a packet trick ever. And I haven't released a kids trick ever. But I think hopefully people realise that if I put my name to something, it's because I 100% believe it. And for me, this is my go-to Christmas trick. I think that you need to have a trick with you. This fits into your top pocket. You saw the routine there. We've been very honest in the tutorial. That's the main in the trailer. That's the main routine. These cards that you get are capable of doing so much more. There's a sandwich routine in there. There's the main story routine, which is kind of amalgamation of a whole different plot. My oil and water routine, not oil and water, sorry, my Out of This World routine, which I've put as a bonus and I've never shared before, is just, it will give you 10 minutes on stage or closer, and all you need is a blank deck of cards and a marker pen in 10 minutes, and you'll blow people away. There's just so much on there, and you know, it just allows you to go out and theme the magic you're doing to Christmas. And just because the story, by the way, the story that I told there is the story I always use when I'm doing this presentation. But if you actually think about it, it's a little bit like an oil and water, but with green elves and red elves. So if you want to, you can go and present this very straight, but without the story. So you can say, hey, I've got a bunch of Christmas cards here. You can see that they've got trees on the back. And on the front, there's a whole bunch of elves. Look, there's a red elf and a green elf and a red elf and a green elf. We're going to do an observation test. I'm going to put red elf and green elf and a red elf and the green elf there. I'm going to take these and hold them here. Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to change places. Boom. Did you see it happen? No. Well, look, all the red elves are over here. All the red elves are over here. What's over there? The green elves. No, that's the presents. You're probably wondering where the presents came from. Well, it's not that question. The question is, where the hell did the reindeer come from? So you can shorten it and not do a 5-minute story, and instead do it very much as an oil and water with a wild card kicker ending. There's so, and if you're doing it in corporate, so you're doing it for adults, that's what you do. You don't necessarily have to do the whole story about the North Pole, but trust me, kids, you do that. You have an event with kids, whether it's be a family event, whether it be a wedding where there's kids there, whatever it is, you do this story, the kids will love it, they will buy into it, whatever the age, and the adults, they will be amazed by the magic and they'll buy into it as well. So it's just something that works for everybody.
Yeah, it really does. And like you said there as well, it's one of those tricks that, okay, on the trailer you're telling this story, but think about it in its barest presentation form. You show the 4 red, you show the 4 green, you've placed a card down which is just sort of a card with a Christmas tree in it, that's face down or it can go in their pocket, whatever it is. Suddenly you get, instead of the elves being alternated, one of the piles they all turn to red, then when they look at the other pile expecting to see all the greens, they're now all presents. Now the pile in your hand that they've just seen all green are all reindeer. And now the card that's on the table has got all the elves on it. I mean, that's strong magic. And if you present it as a magic trick, and in my opinion, I don't like oil and water. It's never really done anything for me as a premise. I've never performed one. Whereas this doesn't feel like an oil and water. It feels more interesting to me. I've never liked the colour separation, but with this, it's not really a colour separation. It's elves moving about. You know, there's a bit more to it than that. And you've got the kicker of them all vanishing at the end and appearing somewhere else.
And it takes up no pocket space. You just put it in your pocket. It's instantly reset. It's designed so they can examine the majority of the cards. The ones that they can't examine, they've got no interest in anyway. Yeah, and like I say, instant reset, no table required, walk around, anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
Honestly, it's so, yeah, it's a great effect. And even without, like you said, even without the story, it's just a super strong piece of magic that's got a lovely Christmas theme. Whether you want to tell the story or not doesn't matter. As soon as they see the cards, it's Christmas. It's got a Christmas theme, and it's a strong effect. You know, it's a very strong effect. We've had a couple of people saying that they've joined us late. They're not getting the notifications for some reason. Not sure why. So can we play the video again? So we'll play the video again in a moment. But if you want to pick it up, they are actually in stock now, and they're shipping today. So just scan the code there. That should take you. I haven't tried it yet, so hopefully it will take you straight to the product.
I'll check it now.
Roy Smith put it's a no-brainer for 20 quid. It's actually better than that. I think it's £18.
It is £18, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It's even more of a no-brainer for £18, Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works perfectly. It takes you straight there.
Especially when you consider the amount of gaff cards you get. You get something like 10 or 11, 12 gaff cards, something like that.
Yeah.
Which means that, so if you guys know Colour Monty, there's a version of Colour Monty on there, which is just great. You know, a perfect... You know, you talk about, being fleeced when you went on holiday to the North Pole, and you met a guy who had 3 cards, and there was a card with a red elf on it, there was a card with a red elf on it, there was a card with a green elf on it. It's Colour Monty, but with elves, and the kicker, instead of the $14, is presents. That's just one thing you can do with the cards. I mean, you know, Colour Monty is a trick that everybody does. Imagine being able to do that exact same thing, but with elves and a present kicker instead. You know, that's just an example of what you can do with these cards. But there is literally so much you can do. Actually, playing around with the cards and realise that you can actually do with the same cards that we've supplied. You can do a Christmas version of Garrett Thomas's Stand Up Monty. So if people got Stand Up Monty by Garrett Thomas, the cards will allow you to do that as well. It's basically a collection of gapped cards, but my favourite routine to do with it is the routine that they saw on the trailer. And as I say, even if you're not a story-based magician, and I'm not a magician that tells lots of stories, this is one that I do tell to the right audience, but even if you're not a storytelling magician, you can do exactly the same routine that you see on the trailer, but instead of the story, you can go very direct. You can go very, very direct with it.
Yeah. Oh, is that your...
That was my, yeah, I got a phone call coming
Yeah,
in.
you need to turn it off. It's all crackling. Or put it on aeroplane. Yeah, no, it's great, mate. So I tell you what, let's take another look at the trailer for those that missed it.
Yep.
And then we will be back with a bit more chat. So
Sounds
here
good.
we go, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer for Elf.
Hey guys, my name's Craig Petty. On behalf of AlakazamMagicUK, Magic, welcome to Elf.
So Roman, it's coming up to Christmas,
It is.
and it's an exciting time of the year.
I can't wait.
Have you ever been to the North Pole?
No.
Well, me as a magician, I actually go to the North Pole quite a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I know Santa.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something about the North Pole. I'm going to give you some inside scoop on Santa and the North Pole.
Elf is a festive packet trick that's designed to not only give the spirit of Christmas, but blow your audiences away with magical moment after magical moment after magical moment.
Now, I've got these cards here. These look like, they're not playing cards, they're Christmas cards. You can see that because the back of the cards has Christmas trees on. Now, they're all the same, but except for this one. This one here is a stack of presents because there are so many presents in the North Pole, you wouldn't believe it. More presents than you could possibly feasibly imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this card with all of these presents on and put them over there. We'll get back to it in a minute. Now, all these other cards, the backs are the same. It's not really important what the backs are. The important thing are the faces, and I'm going to show you the faces in a second, but the faces actually have pictures of elves on them. Now, if you've never been to the North Pole, you probably don't know this, but when you go to the North Pole, obviously elves play a big part in the operations that go on there.
Elf isn't just a single trick, it's a project. There are 4 routines on this project, along with a whole bunch of custom printed, gaffed, festive cards.
Now, there's actually 2 teams that you probably don't realise. There's 2 teams at the North Pole when it comes to elves. There's the red team and there's the green team. Now, the red team, they're responsible for present creation and distribution. So they work in the warehouse, and they're basically in charge of all of the machines to make sure that all the presents are made on Christmas Day. If the red team didn't do their job properly, there would be no presents. The green team are in charge of reindeer care. So they're responsible for making sure that the reindeer do what they need to do and are fed and looked after so they can literally fly on Christmas Eve. Now, I've got a whole bunch of elves here, and it doesn't matter how many I've got, but you can see that I'm alternating red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves all the way through. Let me explain why the reindeer are such a massive pain in the backside to Santa. The reason is they get distracted very, very easily, and they always like playing tricks on each other and on Santa. So let's just assume that Santa has disappeared out the warehouse for a bit, out the workshop. He's gone to have a hot cocoa with Mrs. Claus or something like that. He's busy, right? Okay. What will happen is they'll start playing this game where they're jumping around from one place to another magically. Yeah. Let me show you what I mean. If I take 4 of the elves and put them here, so I'll put a red elf and a green elf and a red elf and a green elf.
Yeah.
We'll pretend that this area here is the workshop where all the presents are made.
Yeah.
And then that leaves us over here, obviously, with 4 elves, the red elf and red elf and green elf. We'll pretend this is where the reindeer are kept, right?
Okay.
Here's what happens. This is what they'll do. They'll start playing tricks on each other, and they'll start, you know, like when you're a kid, you play tag?
Yeah.
They do like a magical version of tag where they're jumping around all over the place. Like, for example, if I just snap my fingers, it's happened. Did you see it happen?
No.
See, now over here, we've got red elf, red elf, red elf, red elf. We've got all the red elves here. Because you see, they jumped when you didn't see it. If the red elves are here, what do you think we've got over there?
The green elves.
Exactly, because they're jumping around all over the place. But Santa doesn't like this. He wants them to get back to work.
Yeah.
So if they hit, but Santa can never catch the elves. You know why?
Why?
Because when Santa walks back in to find out what's going on, they just disappear completely. Like, he'll go and check in the workshop where the presents are made. He won't see any elves. All there'll be there is presents and presents and presents and presents. There are no elves. There's nothing but presents. If he goes check in the stables where the reindeer are kept, all that are there are reindeer and reindeer and reindeer and reindeer. There are no elves anywhere because they've hidden. When they saw him coming, they hid. And where have they gone? They've gone and hung out outside in the snow where all the presents are kept. And that is why Santa has such a nightmare all year round.
I'm even going to go through my naughty and nice routine, which is absolutely, categorically, the best and funniest version of Out of This World that you will ever see, and perfect for those Christmas shows. Now, these tricks are designed for family audiences, they're designed for kid shows, they're even designed for restaurants and corporates. Let's be honest, every year we get booked for Christmas shows, and every year we promise our clients that we're going to be theming our tricks for Christmas. Well, this year you can do just that. These tricks are easy to do, they're super magical, you can watch the tutorial and start performing them immediately. Guys, on behalf of Alakazam Magic, my name's Craig Petty, and welcome to Elf Ho Ho Ho.
Right, there it is, Elf. I just want to answer a couple of questions. Lee Alex put that he's seeing the price as £15. Obviously, you're probably seeing it, Lee, without VAT. So that's where the confusion is there, because people are saying, oh, I need to change my browser, I'm seeing it for 18. If you're paying VAT, it's £18. If you're not, then it's 15. And Colin Rumford asked, is it Elf working? Why didn't I think of that? That's going straight on the product description.
Oh my God, that's great. I love that.
I don't care anything else. I just want to hear Craig do the ho 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 again.
Ho ho ho. That's more like Krampus than Santa Claus, unfortunately. It's not difficult. The Out of This World, which I talked about, the bonus routine, is completely self-working. The other three routines, just basic sleights, double lift. I think there's a hammer count in there, not really that much, and I go through it all very succinctly. You know, I go through every single move. I'm joined by Roman on the tutorial, so he's
only had one trick out, and he's everywhere already. Look.
No. And he looks like an elf. We should have made him dress in green with a little pointy hat. I mean, you know.
And I think he would have loved it. If he would have said we got an elf.
I bet he's already got an elf costume in the back of his car. He's just too embarrassed to get it out. I bet if you'd have gone, oh, I wish you got an elf costume, you'd have gone, I've got one. I'll be back in a minute.
Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think it's one of the most honest trailers that you've ever seen. Yeah. Because what you're seeing there is the main routine, and you can present it however you want to. You can use the story like I do. You can present it more directly. What you're not seeing on the trailer are all the other uses for the cards. But if you imagine that you've got a collection of cards, some have reindeers on them, some have presents on them. All of them have Christmas tree backs. Some of them are double-faced. Some of them are, you know, you can think about, you can imagine all of the different stuff that you can actually do.
Yeah.
You know, you can come up with a bunch of different things. I put 4 routines on there, but there's an awful lot. But the main routine, it's pretty much, you're seeing exactly what it is there on the trailer, which is what we wanted to do. That way you know exactly whether or not it's for you. And when you think about it, you can present it for 5 or 6 minutes. You can present it for 1 or 2 minutes. And there's so many moments of magic in that 2-minute period. You've got an oil and water type routine. You've got a change of every single card. Bearing in mind, they're seeing 8 cards. All of them have elves on. You're then seeing 4 of them change to reindeer, 4 of them change to presents in a very logical way, and then all of the elves are together on the card that you put away in the beginning in full view. Yeah. When you think about that many changes, how many routines have that many changes in one routine? You know.
And you get that lovely sort of kickback feel as well when you show alternate elves, so red, green, then a snap of the fingers, they're all green. They're expecting red there. Turn them over, they're just presents. And now you get that kickback moment where you turn these back over and these have all changed. You know, there's so many different moments of strong magic. And all right, in the trailer, you're performing it to Roman, and to be fair, this performance was taken from the explanational video, so you're sort of performing it and running through it. But when you pause at those magical moments, they're very strong moments. And, you know, you're lucky nowadays to find a packet trick that's got one of them, let alone 4 or 5 of them.
No, it's great. I love it. I can't wait to start using it. I've got mine here.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
I actually got this a few weeks ago, and then I lost my one to Craig because he hadn't got one. So I donated my one to Craig so he could have it. So I've managed to pick myself one up today. I'm very pleased.
Amazing.
And
yeah, I mean,
it will work on Zoom.
Oh, works brilliantly on Zoom. Yeah. And you know what? I don't know what anybody else is finding. I've had quite a few virtual shows come in this year, which really surprised me. I didn't think I was going to get anything. I haven't done a virtual show in about 6 months, but we've had quite a few virtual shows come in this Christmas, which is really interesting. So I've had to relearn my virtual show. So you know,
I'm doing one of my Facebook shows on Christmas Day, and this will be a part of. I'm doing one of my virtual shows on Christmas Day.
No, I heard you the first time, Wayne. I heard you the first time.
Can we cut him off now? Is he had long enough? Can we just cut on? And this was going to be part of my show. It really was. Oh, such a shame. No, that will be, yeah.
I just
can't believe you got me with that gag. I cannot believe I fell for that.
I just need to answer this for Lee Alex. Lee, it's the 13th of December. We are going live at 7 p.m. with the Alakazam live online Christmas party. So put that date in your diaries, ladies and gents, for Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday the 13th of December. Right, we've got another trailer to play, which is another Christmas trick. And I do know this is an effect that you're pretty fond of, Craig, anyway, so let me drop this in and then we'll have a chat when we get back.
So I'm going to tell you a very Christmassy story about the demon brother of Saint Nick. So the belief is that if you were good and you followed the rules, that you'd be greeted by Saint Nick and he would bless you with toys and gifts and chocolates. But if you were bad and you didn't follow the rules, then Krampus would visit you, and he would curse you for 1,000 years, taking you down to his lair. Now this is a picture of Krampus, the demon of Christmas, and you can see that's his next victim. Obviously didn't follow the rules. So you are all going to get to play the part of Krampus and Christmas, and you are going to decide the fates of all of these people. Now these are pictures of people from Christmases gone past. This is going to be our bless pile. This is going to be our curse pile. So, you can make the first decision. One of these we are going to bless. Who should we bless? Bless. This one here. Interesting. One of these we are going to curse. This one. One of these we are going to bless. One of these we are going to curse. So we've only been doing one of each, so now we're going to go for one of both. So one of these you are going to curse and one that you are going to bless. Curse and bless. Okay. And you get to make the final decision. So one of these we're going to bless, one we're going to curse. Bless. Sure. And curse. Interesting. Now, you all made these decisions based on just the pictures that you saw. And it's fair to say that, for example, this is our bless pile. You felt that all of these people deserve to live over all of these people. But you made all of these decisions, and had you have put these in any other pile, then these would not spell out B, L, E, S, S. These would not spell out C, U, R, S, E. But all of this could have been avoided if only you followed the rules. Happy Christmas.
Right, apologies to anyone that couldn't hear Jamie speaking. He's actually recorded that in stereo with his voice on the left-hand channel and the music on the right. So all we're hearing is the music, so we've only got one earpiece. So unless you're listening out of two speakers in stereo, you won't hear him talking.
I'm telling you, Jamie is one scary guy. He's one scary. You know, there's me trying to bring joy and fun and festivity to Christmas with my little cartoon elf, and there's him scaring the crap out of the entire world with his normal demonic stuff. Crazy.
Do you know what? He called me up and he said, Peter, I've got a brilliant Christmas trick. And I went, oh, that will be interesting. Oh, come down, Jack. And I was really, I don't know why. I mean, I've only got myself to blame, but I was expecting it to be, I was expecting it to be Elf. I was expecting Jamie to walk in with a Santa's hat on and start performing this thing. And, his opening line to me was, so anyway, there's this guy called Krampus, and he'll come and take kids away. And it's like, all right, here we go. Typical Jamie. But it's such a great effect. As you know, it's based on the Given, the mythology, which is brilliant. There's a couple of slight changes.
Jamie's brought out so many tricks over the years, but in my opinion, the Given is the best trick that I think he's ever done.
Yeah.
I just love it from a methodology point of view. Every time I do it, I fool myself. I don't understand how it works. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah, it's so clever, and the mythology is almost identical. Obviously, there's a couple of slightly different moves because of what's being done on it, but that's a totally uncut performance you've seen there of Jamie doing it, and it's as clean as that every single time. That's not like the best out, that is it. That's how the trick ends. And Krampus are due to start shipping out at the end of this week. So if you haven't pre-ordered one already, there's a few left in this year's batch. So go grab one. There's a few people leaving comments. Owen says, Elf looks great. I've been asked about Xmas routines at a venue I do work for. I'll be ordering this when I get a chance.
Here's the thing. The bottom line is, it's 18 quid. It's not exactly the most expensive trick in the world. We've priced it so that it's really reasonably priced. And you have a routine that fits into your top pocket, that you can do without a table, that's instantly repeatable, that's examinable to a point, instant reset, and has tons of really, really, really strong magical moments built into it.
Yeah. And add to that, you're out of this world, which is great. What a great premise for Out of This World.
Oh, yeah. I never said I'd actually put that out, and the fact that I've actually put it on this project, I'm hoping it kind of gets hidden and people don't, because it is.
I'm going to be doing it, so it's and the nice thing about it as well is it happens with a shuffled deck. That's the thing. Or it's a special deck that you create yourself. It will take you 10 minutes to make, and once you've made it, you're done. And it's no arts and crafts or anything. You're literally writing on cards. It's naughty and nice. But the beautiful thing is, you hand it to someone, they mix them up. You've got some great comedy moments because they become Santa Claus. You give them the power. They choose who's naughty and nice. Now, the thing is, when you go to the next table, they shuffle them again. There's no reset. It's a proper workers' version, which is perfect for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And you know what, Pete? In all honesty, we could have had a deck of cards printed up with naughty and nice, with really nice Christmassy fonts, and sold it as a separate trick, and it would have sold. Yeah. But we wanted to kind of give it away as part of this package. But it is the sort of thing that you would see come out as a single trick release, especially this time of the year. You know, and you're just getting that as a bonus on the project for £18.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, everything you've got on there is super strong. You know, the The sandwich effect is really nice, and once again you've added a great magical twist to that, because it's not a playing card they're finding, it's a present that someone wants for Christmas. That's really good. And then you've got your version of Colour Monty, once again really fun. I'm a big fan of Colour Monty, and to mix it up with the Christmas theme is really good. And you know, all of these effects, if you're out performing and there's families there or kids there, and or even just adults, I mean, the Out of This World is, you know, can be performed to anyone. It's out of this world. And the one you did there, Elf, can be performed to anyone. You don't have to give it the story.
I don't want people to think that just because they see this story, it's just for kids. It's really not. Like I say, if you bring out a packet of cards and you go, look, I've got a whole bunch of elves here. I've got red and green elves, and you can see they're alternating, right? Hold your hand out. I'm going to give you 4 elves, a red elf, and what does that leave over here? Correct. Now watch. This is the weirdest thing you'll ever see. Did you see they all change places? I've got the green ones. If I've got the green ones, what do you have? You have the red ones. Yeah, but this is Christmas. Look, turn them over. You've got reindeer. I've got presents. It can be very easily just a straightforward packet trick without the storyline, and it'll work for any audience.
Yeah. And cards like this, there's no getting away from it. Cards like this are more interesting to a lay spectator than doing an oil and water with black cards and red cards.
I bet if you did that to some spectators, wouldn't even call it a card trick.
No, because it's not using playing cards.
Yeah. Oh, he did a trick with these things, pictures of elves and that, and it'd be pictures of elves that turn into pictures of presents and pictures of reindeer, as opposed to, oh, he did a card trick where he separated. It would be the spectators see it differently.
Yeah. Darren Bain said he will be slaying his audiences with this one. We're getting a lot of the Christmas puns coming in. I just want to give a big shout out actually, because a few people have ordered already. We got Pete Jones, we got Darren Bain. Let me have a look here, just refresh. Pete Jones, Darren Bain, Roy Smith, we got Lee Ranson. Quite a few people have picked one up already, so I know what they're going to be doing at their Christmas parties. And also, if you're not a working magician, but you've got family, friends who have got kids, just carry it in your pocket. We're all invited to Christmas parties this time of year. Perfect little trick just to carry in your pocket.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can even carry it in the box.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I've got something to show you.
It just looks like a box that has like Christmas themed cards in it with a really ugly elf on the front.
A very scary elf on the front.
That's a cute elf.
Oh, there he is on the picture. There we go.
That's
Craig,
super
can
cute.
you shut your right eye and put your thumb up for us? Can we do a screen on screen comparison? You look like Popeye.
It's brilliant. So Wayne,
yes,
you are surrounded with perfect little stocking fillers. Would you like to tell us all about them?
So these are the Amazing Magic range, and this is a, let me just move this out of the way. This is a, well, I suppose it's our beginners range, isn't it? But it's suitable for anybody and everybody, really. To be fair, I use this one in my pro shows because they're so good. But they're all individual packaged tricks that are ideal if you're just getting into magic, or if you know somebody who's getting into magic. They're pocket money prices, so they're not massively expensive. And there's a whole, the range has got, I think it's about 14, 15, 17 maybe.
I think there's 14 at the moment.
14?
Yeah.
We added the sponge balls. But well, anyway, there's quite a few in the range, and they are brilliant. So from things like the dice explosion, which is one of my favourite tricks, whenever I do this, I get the child, if I'm doing it to a child, I get the child to do it. And I think I did it on Thea, Craig, or it might have been Theo, and Thea was there at the Magic Day. And I said, put your thumb underneath and put your finger on top and just go up and down once. And boom, it changes into all the small dice, which you can then open this up and you can tip out the dice into their hand. And just the look on their face, they did it themselves. It's that easy. This one's really, really easy. I mean, they're all really, really simple to do. No sleight of hand, no massive amounts of practice required, and they just look great. The quality of them as well is phenomenal. So yeah, this is the Amazing Magic range. It's on the site now. If you do a search for Amazing Magic range, you're going to find the full lot. We've got sponge balls. Some of them require a little bit more practice. The sponge balls, I'm going to teach you a basic sponge ball routine on there. Very, very easy, very simple, very quick to pick up. It's a great introduction to sponge balls. You've got things like the Professor's Nightmare, which I haven't got here, which will teach you the unequal equal ropes. And then you've got the individual tricks like the Mummy Mystery, which I have so many magicians ask me how we can afford to sell this, because it's obviously electrical, and it's not. There's no electronics in this at all, and yet it looks like, you know, one of those kind of mind-reading electrical tricks, but it's not. It does it all self-contained, really simple to do, and really amazing. The Mystic Chips is one of my favourites. I can actually do the Mystic Chips quickly if we've got time.
Yeah.
And I can get Craig involved. Now, Craig, you didn't know we were going to do this, so I was going to say we could open it up to somebody on the chat, but we can do it with you here. I've got 6 chips here, and I have a prediction. I'll place this behind so it's in screen. So let's say this is number 1, and then number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whichever number you choose, I'm not going to change my mind depending on the end. This is number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. Inside here, I have got a playing card with a prediction on it. So give me a number between 1 and 6. And you can have 1, you can have 6, you can have any other number.
4.
4. So it's 1, 2, 3. You're happy with that? I'm just going to place it there. Now, what I didn't tell you a few seconds ago, actually, just to be completely fair, would you like to change your mind?
No, I'm happy with 4.
What I didn't tell you a few seconds ago is that these aren't just plain black chips. On the other side of these chips, something that makes them a little bit different. So, for instance, over here, you can see this one is an orange chip. Now, and if you were here with me, you could turn these over and examine them yourself. We've got a blue one, we've got a yellow one, we've got a silver one, and we've got a purple one. So you could have had any single one of these chips. Now, obviously, you chose number 4, which is this one, and this has been, I'll keep it here so you can see it. It's not, I'm wearing a black t-shirt, I'll put it here. You could have chosen any single one, and I can tell you right now that you've chosen the red one. Which I will place here. So you could have had any single one. You could have the yellow, the orange, the purple, the silver, the blue, but you went for the red one. I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to show you this envelope. The envelope is sealed. It has got a little tuck on it, so it is sealed. And now if you again here, I would pass this to you, and when you open it up, inside here, I'll bring it out this way. I normally have it the other way around. I'll do it this way because I normally have it this way around. Again, they can take this out. There's nothing inside the envelope. And it matches, no, I'm just joking. On this side, it's got the prediction, and it says you will choose red. In big letters, big bold letters, and nothing else to find. And now they can examine everything. There is nothing to find there, and you've got an amazing mind reading trick with a beautiful prediction. So really, really easy to do, really, really simple, works every single time. And it's just a nice little trick that, yeah, you know, it's got a nice little magical premise to it. And it doesn't take up much room, it all goes back in, and it takes up no space at all. So it's a really nice little, very, very easy to do, self-working, almost self-working trick that you know, you'll be doing 5 minutes after you take it out of the package. Yeah. And if you've got friends coming over for Christmas dinner, you can learn this in 5 minutes and perform it at the table and wow everybody. Or you can put it in your pocket, take it to the pub and get yourself a free drink from your mates. If I can know which colour you're going to choose, buy me a drink.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll tell you right now, one of my favourite, as a coin worker, because that's what I do, a lot of coin magic, one of my favourite routines uses a prop that you guys sell in the Alakazam beginner range, which is the crystal coin case.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I actually do a routine with that, walk around all the time. For me, that's one of the best props to vanish a coin that there is.
Yeah, yeah, it's so strong.
It's so overlooked by magicians.
Yeah, there was a great comment here from George, actually, that said, like, he's referring to Elf. The moment where they turn over that final card, you could packet switch all the other cards on the table for just 8 double blanks. And now...
Well, you know what I would do with that, George? And I think that's a really clever idea. I love that, and I wish I'd thought of it. I would use a Himba wallet. I would have the 8 cards in the Himba wallet. I would have the elf cards in the other side. I'd take the cards out, do the whole routine, and when the focus, and then when I've shown reindeer and elves, reindeer and presents, I put the cards away, just close the case for a minute, and then just turn over the thing in their hand so they can examine that, because that card is completely examinable, and then bring up the whole thing about snow and everything disappearing, which is an amazing thing. Get them to blow or something, or get them to sing "Let It Go," get them to act all silly, and then when you open up the wallet, you've now got the blank cards, and you don't have to worry about doing a packet switch, because you've got a reason to put the packet away inside the Himba wallet, because that element of the trick's over. But then when you open it up, you've done the switch automatically. I think it's a really great idea, George. Genius.
Yeah, lovely idea. Really nice idea. So we are, gentlemen.
That's not an hour.
That is an hour. We are at the end.
It really is.
Yeah, we're at the end of the live. So I do want to say a big thank you to Craig Petty for always creating amazing magic. And you'll be hopefully seeing Craig again in December, but more will be revealed soon. Big thank you to Wayne for joining us here in the studio. Thanks and for being around last night for the live launch.
It was good last night. I had a great time, really good. And I thought Roman did really well. It's a brilliant trick and well worth, it's such a, like I said last night, I've been waiting for that to come out all year. It's been the biggest thing for me, so I'm really pleased that it's out now, and people are going to be using it and loving it.
Yeah.
And check out this lot as well, it's great for stocking fillers.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, if you haven't done so already, if you go to the front page of our website, just up the top, there is a Trustpilot section there. If you have ordered something from Alakazam before, it will be lovely if you could leave a review for the company. It really, really does help with our Google rankings and everything. And if you haven't already liked us or followed us on Facebook, hit that like or follow, whatever you do. That will be great as well. But we will see you next Tuesday on the Alakazam Live. I'm going to leave you with the trailer for Elf once more. But until next week, we'll say bye to Craig Petty. And
take care, everyone.
Bye to the amazing Wayne Goodman.
See you soon, guys.
And I will see you soon as well. So we will catch you next Tuesday on the Alakazam Live. See you then.
Hey guys, my name's Craig Petty. On behalf of Alakazam Magic, welcome to Elf.
So Roman, it's coming up to Christmas.
It is.
And it's an exciting time of the year.
I can't wait.
Have you ever been to the North Pole?
No.
Well, me as a magician, I actually go to the North Pole quite a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I know Santa.
Yeah?
And I'm going to tell you something about the North Pole. I'm going to give you some inside scoop on Santa and the North Pole.
Elf is a festive packet trick that's designed to not only give the spirit of Christmas, but blow your audiences away with magical moment after magical moment after magical moment.
Now, I've got these cards here. These look like, they're not playing cards, they're Christmas cards. You can see that because the back of the cards has Christmas trees on. Now, they're all the same, but except for this one. This one here is a stack of presents, because there are so many presents in the North Pole, you wouldn't believe it. More presents than you could possibly feasibly imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this card with all of these presents on and put them over there. We'll get back to it in a minute. Now, all these other cards, the backs are the same. It's not really important what the backs are. The important thing are the faces, and I'm going to show you the faces in a second, but the faces actually have pictures of elves on them. Now, if you've never been to the North Pole, you probably don't know this, but when you go to the North Pole, obviously elves play a big part in the operations that go on there.
Elf isn't just a single trick, it's a project. There are 4 routines on this project, along with a whole bunch of custom printed, gaffed, festive cards.
Now, there's actually two teams that you probably don't realise. There's two teams at the North Pole when it comes to elves. There's the red team and there's the green team. Now, the red team, they're responsible for present creation and distribution. So they work in the warehouse, and they're basically in charge of all of the machines to make sure that all the presents are made on Christmas Day. If the red team didn't do their job properly, there would be no presents. The green team are in charge of reindeer care. So they're responsible for making sure that the reindeer do what they need to do and are fed and looked after so they can literally fly on Christmas Eve. Now, I've got a whole bunch of elves here, and it doesn't matter how many I've got, but you can see that I'm alternating red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves, red elves, green elves all the way through. Let me explain why the reindeer are such a massive pain in the backside to Santa. The reason is they get distracted very, very easily, and they always like playing tricks on each other and on Santa. So let's just assume that Santa has disappeared out the warehouse for a bit, out the workshop. He's gone to have a hot cocoa with Mrs. Claus or something like that. He's busy, right? Okay. What will happen is they'll start playing this game where they're jumping around from one place to another magically. Let me show you what I mean. If I take four of the elves and put them here, so I'll put a red elf and a green elf and a red elf and a green elf. We'll pretend that this area here is the workshop where all the presents are made. And then that leaves us over here, obviously, with four elves, the red elf and red elf and green elf. We'll pretend this is where the reindeer are kept, right?
Okay.
Here's what happens. This is what they'll do. They'll start playing tricks on each other, and they'll start, you know, like when you're a kid, you play tag? They do like a magical version of tag where they're jumping around all over the place. Like, for example, if I just snap my fingers, it's happened. Did you see it happen?
No.
See, now over here, we've got red elf, red elf, red elf, red elf. We've got all the red elves here. Because you see, they jumped when you didn't see it. If the red elves are here, what do you think we've got over there?
The green elves.
Exactly, because they're jumping around all over the place. But Santa doesn't like this. He wants them to get back to work. So if they hit, but Santa can never catch the elves. You know why?
Why?
Because when Santa walks back in to find out what's going on, they just disappear completely. Like, he'll go and check in the workshop where the presents are made. He won't see any elves. All will be there is presents and presents and presents and presents. There are no elves. There's nothing but presents. If he goes check in the stables where the reindeer are kept, all that are there are reindeer and reindeer and reindeer and reindeer. There are no elves anywhere because they've hidden. When they saw him coming, they hid. And where have they gone? They've gone and hung out outside in the snow where all the presents are kept. And that is why Santa has such a nightmare all year round.
I'm even going to go through my naughty and nice routine, which is absolutely, categorically, the best and funniest version of Out of This World that you will ever see, and perfect for those Christmas shows. Now, these tricks are designed for family audiences, they're designed for kid shows, they're even designed for restaurants and corporates. Let's be honest, every year we get booked for Christmas shows, and every year we promise our clients that we're going to be theming our tricks for Christmas. Well, this year you can do just that. These tricks are easy to do, they're super magical. You can watch the tutorial and start performing them immediately. Guys, on behalf of Alakazam Magic, my name's Craig Petty, and welcome to Elf Ho Ho Ho.